What's up, guys? Welcome to Chicagoland Motor Speedway for the Grosskopf 200. If you guys don't know what the Grosskopf 200 is, as I clear my throat to make this sound better, Aaron Grosskopf is one of the community members here in iRacing. He's also an integral part of this league, and he has cerebral palsy. He's grown up with it his whole life. The wheel that he's currently got for iRacing is starting to crap itself a little bit. So this race is going to be in dedication for him. We're going to have a donation link going so we can try and raise some money and get him a brand new wheel so he can get back to racing. I think it's been about 6 months since he last was able to turn some laps in anger. So hopefully we'll be able to fix that up for him. But anyway, in the meantime, let's get to the action on the track. As see Travis and Massey in the pits, but we don't care about who's in the pits, we care about who's on track. And we can see right there, Ryan Daly just behind Chuck Mobley. Couple of new names I haven't seen before. See Blake Maddie's there on the apron. He'll be happy that I said his name right this time. Look at the orange in the background as day goes into night. Absolutely awesome to see. You see Gareth Anderson currently the top time sitter in the 00 car as Ryan Daly is on the grass there. It's not where you want to find yourself. These cars don't drive too well on the grass. So now we've got Alexander Russell on screen in the 38 car, currently P17 overall. And there's Frank Dominic just making it to the inside wall. That's not where you want to have a crash. Not if you can make it all the way to the wall. That's actually pretty bad. As we are in the last few minutes here of practice. These guys have been going at it hard for a little bit over an hour. We see Thomas Light on track right now in the 98 car. He's in P5, just above Thomas Harmon in P6. Both of them with 29.9s, but Thomas with a 29.94, and the other Thomas with a 29.96. As you see now, Blake Maddie's on screen. He's got Gareth Anderson just in front of him. Bruce Rivers just behind. Now remember guys, any donation that you guys decide to put in, and the link will be available to the YouTube replay as well, it will go directly towards helping out our buddy Aaron to get him a new wheel so he can get back to racing. Cerebral palsy is definitely not fun at all to try and deal with day after day. And iRacing is one of his only escapes. So don't forget to hit that link to get yourself into helping. Every dollar helps. Let's see what Blake Matties can do around here now. Apparently we're not going to, because we're on Gareth Anderson now. His last lap was a 30.07, it's 30.077. As now we're on Thomas Light, who has made his way to the pits. 98 good wrench car. Don't know why iRacing really likes watching people do pit stops. Now we've got Cohen Attard in the 131 car right there behind Bruce Rivers. Bruce had a terrible run last week at Sonoma. Be interesting to see what he can do going forward now that we're back onto the oval tracks. He's already pulled a gap over Attard. Gareth Anderson's making his way to the pits. Again, I don't know why it keeps going to the guys in the pits. It's neither a crash nor is it exciting. We go back to Cohen Attard in the 131. He pulled a 30.431 on the last lap. Let's see what he does this time around. And this time he does a 29.975. That's going to put him up to the 7th position. Very nicely done. It looks like he's going to pull out of it from here. Now we're looking at Quinn Hoff. He's going to be the 15 car in the standings, but he is one of the double zeros on track. He's actually one of the teammates of Mr. Gareth Anderson. And currently sitting on track just behind the 68 of Thomas Harmon. You see them starting to catch up to Bruce. Bruce might have balked him a little bit. What does he do here for a time? Quinn does a 30.131. That's going to give him 19th at the moment. Thomas Harmon still sitting up in P6. I can't actually see his time at the minute. It looks like Quinn pulled out of it. But now we'll look at Thomas Harmon, who did a 29.968 to get himself P6. His last lap was a 30.004. I've got the 24 of Gregory Harris on screen. Now we jump over to the 38 of Alexander Russell. Bruce Rivers is there as well. He just got overtaken by Alexander. As we are now seconds away from ending practice here and going on into qualifying. So what we are going to do then is we are going to go for a short break, and when we come back, if it's group qualifying, then we will cut back into the action after the advert. If not, then we'll be back for when these guys start to grid, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty, guys, we are back, and qualifying has just wrapped up. Have a look at the results here from qualifying. You can see Jeremy Miller on the pole with a 29.933. Second place is going to be Rachel Hunt in the 16 car. Third place to the 131 of Cohen Attard. Fourth place will be the 25 of Brian Chambliss. P5 will be the 78 of Chuck Mobley. P6 the 21 of Christopher Davies. Seventh place will be the 98 of Thomas Light. P8 will be the 5 of Brian Britt. P9 will be the 28 car of Timothy Swiggett. P9 will be the 00 of Gareth Anderson. P10 is Anderson. P11 is going to be Russell Arnold. P12 is going to be the 59 of 59 of Bruce Rivers. P13 will be the 1 of Brian Marola. P14 will be the 99 of Ryan Daly. P15 will be the 24 of Gregory Harris. P16, the 27 of Blake Matties. P17 will be the 19 of Eric Thompson. P18 will be the 13 of Lewis Woodall. P19 will be the 48 of Ryan Charles. P20 will be, I think that's the 36 car of Alexander Russell. P21 will be the 97 of Ken MacArthur. P22 will be the 3 of Frank Dominic. P23 will be the 68 of Thomas Harmon. P24 will be the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. P25 will be the 87 of Brian Pizzakemi. P26 will be the 12 of Matt Burgess. 27th is the 61 of Travis Massia. P28 will be the 15 of Quinn Huff. And P29, last but not least, will be the 20 car of Adam Walker. Strength of field for this race is a 20-25 out of 32 drivers. Obviously, not 32 people on track. I'm not on there because broadcasting. Daniel Aish from USANZ in the 33 is not gridding, and Thomas Roberts in the 30 car not gridding. Don't forget, people in chat of Twitch, there is a donation link going around in the chat. If you would like to donate to help out one of our fellow iRacers, that is the link that you got to go to. As the lights are out on the pace car. This one is going to be for Aaron, guys. The pace car is in. And we're off and racing. Jeremy Miller with a huge jump on the field. Already pulled out a big gap over the 16 of Rachel Hunt. As people are already starting to jostle for position. You can see there the battle for third between Attard and Chambliss. Chambliss tried to hold strong around the outside of that 131 car of Attard. Not going to be able to do it this time, and that's also going to leave him vulnerable to Christopher Davies. Coming up on his inside, Davies taking it to the apron. And it is not going to get him there this time by. But Chambliss still holding on to that slightly higher line. Maybe this time in 3 and 4 he'll go down low. The 21 still looking like he wants to get it, but he's not going to. As now the 25 of Chambliss is going to challenge Attard for the 3rd position. And he's going to make that move work going through turns 3 and 4. Now the 21 of Christopher Davies starting to battle the 131 of Cohen Attard for 4th. He's pulled up to his inside. What can he do here in 1 and 2? Nothing this time. He actually slides up behind the 131 of Attard. So that has just ruined his run. But here comes the 78 of Chuck Mobley as well. Will Chuck try and make a move? No, not this time. So at the moment, it's Jeremy Miller, Rachel Hunt, Brian Chambliss, Cohen Attard, Christopher Davies, Chuck Mobley, Thomas Light, Timothy Swigert, Ryan Arnold, and Brian Britt as your top 10. As now the 21 car of Christopher Davies is going to try and get her around Cohen Attard for the 4th position. Coming along the back straight, which isn't really straight because it's got a little bit of a curve to it. And he's not going to actually make that move work coming up at turn 2. In fact, he's going to be under siege from the 78 of Chuck Mobley on the outside line. Mobley moving up there behind Attard, trying to get that outside line to work, pinching down the 21 as hard as he could. And that actually made him a little bit tight coming off the corner. Let's see what we can do here. The 21 slots up in front. Oh, and there's contact. And there is going to be the first caution of the race. Oh no, more people getting into it. One of the double zeros is out. I think that's Quinn Hoff. Unfortunate set of circumstances there. Let's go back and have a look because we were watching this battle. So the 78 car is the one we're looking at here. He sees the 21 slot up in front, and I'm guessing he thinks he's clear down to the low side. Comes down and taps, I think that's the 28 car, and goes up high. Unfortunately, the 21 was set into a series of rolls. 24 car got a nudge from the 59 as they were checking up for the incident. These guys are well back in the pack. So it's crazy that they got involved. There's the 21. The 24, nowhere to go. Just straight into the flipping 21 car. But what happened to Attard there? That's what's got me a little bit miffed here. I've also got to remember what number Attard is. He is the 131. And I think I might have gone back too far. Yep, I did. And apparently I'm on the wrong Attard. Do we have more than one Attard in this? What? Well, either way, looks like we are going to be under caution here for a little bit. So let's see if maybe we can pull someone up for a quick chat. Quinn made it through there all right. It'd be a little bit better if these guys had numbers next to their names so I could tell who's who. But let's bring up our current leader, I think. Yep, let's bring him up. Hey, Alexander, Corey up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
A bit of a wild start there. Caution in the first 10 laps. But you are out in front and leading this one. What's the race been like for you so far? And what's going to be the plan from here on out?
I think the main strategy for this race, because Chicagoland is a very abrasive surface, is to conserve the tires. Yes, I've run about 5 laps on them, and I'm staying out, but I just think that if people are running really hard, 5-lap older tires shouldn't be that bad to keep up with.
Well, I think you might be right. Hopefully, the plan does work out for you. Very, very abrasive track indeed. But before we let you go back into your group, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to here, man?
I'd like to thank Aaron Grosskopf, who this race is a charity benefit for Quinn Howe for showing up tonight, because he has the NASCAR Cup Series race on Sunday, and you guys in the booth for doing what you're doing. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, man. Good luck for the rest of the race. Hopefully you can maintain that lead.
Thank you.
All right, there you go, guys. That was Alexander Russell leading this race at the moment. Gareth Anderson's in the pits. He must have been the car that I saw that was involved in that. But either way, we're going back to the lead of this because we're going back double file. It's time to go back to racing. So your top 10 is going to be Russell, Miller, Hoff, Hunt, Chambliss, Attard, Arnold, Dominic, Mobley, and Thomas Light. Let's see what these guys can do here on the restart. See Jaron Sanchez there in the number 4 car, making his way to the back of the top 10 there. Just sitting in 11th, he had Thomas Harmon lined up behind him. The pace car is in, and we're off and racing again. Very early jump there again for Alexander Russell, pulling out a bit of a gap over the 26 of Jeremy Miller. As I bring the standings up again for you guys. It looks like the battle again is on for the 3rd position. Look at this. 3 wide along the front straight. You see Rachel Hunt there on the inside. Attard in the middle. On the outside is Quinn Hoff. And the queen of the scene, Miss Rachel Hunt, taking the lead of this battle. But it's still a little bit of a cluster here in the mid-packs, as Quinn Hoff is dropping positions and dropping them very quickly. He's almost fallen to the back of this little pack. But he's just slotted himself in 12th position. As now we've got another battle going on up towards the front here. see the 131, the 38's in there. 38 was our leader, Alexander Russell. He's now down to 4th. Oh, there's contact just in front. Chambliss is loose. Chambliss is around. It's going to bring out the caution. Oh, no. He was just nailed there. I think that might have been the 27 of Blake Matties. And it was that nailed him. But let's back it up a little bit here. Let's see what caused that chain of events. So they're coming out of turn 4. And he's got the 38 car of Alexander Russell there on his outside. Alexander struggling maybe with the older tyres. And he pulls down expecting the 25 to have already been going down towards the apron. I'm not sure whether Chambliss was actually heading towards the apron or not there. And he got some tyres in the grass while he was trying to save it. He gets it sideways. And rather than trying to cause a big calamity with everyone, you can see he's already holding the brakes. He's still holding the brakes. And the 27 of Blake Matties, nowhere to go. Just piles into him, and that's probably going to be a very costly mistake for both those drivers. So we'll let these guys get into the pits, and we'll see if we can grab a quick chat here with the 25 of Chambliss. Last week's winner in dominating fashion. Just wait for him to get into his pit box. As we also try and find a better camera angle. There we go. And let's drag him up for a chat. Hey, Chambliss, Corey up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Not a great start to the race here this time. It looked like a little bit of contact. He was expecting you to be going down to the apron. You weren't really on that trajectory. Is that the way you feel that it went?
Yeah, I don't know what he had going on. I thought I was in a pretty clean track, and I think I was on the apron. I don't know. I just didn't work out and got turned and locked her down, and got hit from behind. I got pretty decent engine damage, so we're probably done with being competitive for the day, and so I don't know. We'll see.
This looks like Chicagoland has not really been your kind of a track. In the previous broadcast, well, the previous race that was meant to be broadcast, it wasn't. You know, you had a pretty terrible race there in the Output Racing League as well. Is it just the track? Like, is there just something about this track that just screams that you're not going to do well, or is it just one of those bad weeks?
I think it's a bad week because I mean, I even in the other league, I showed plenty of speed there. I was even going for the lead, and got tight and got into the wall, and then I had nowhere to go. And then after that, it was just, I don't know, people missing 3 wides and all that other stuff. I just kept getting caught up, and I was just frustrated last week. Kind of like the same thing here. I'm just kind of riding along, kind of minding my own business, just saving tires, and something happens. Disappointing, but we had some speed here, and I was just kind of chilling out. But I don't know, we're gonna come back in here and try to get a little bit more of this damage fixed and see if we can at least salvage something decent out of here.
All right, Brian. Well, thank you for coming in and having a chat. Anyone you want to give a quick shout out to before we let you go here today?
Yeah, just thanks to you and this league, and hopefully Aaron's getting the support he needs with his GoFundMe that he's got going on. He's a great guy, and he deserves all of it, and he loves doing this. So I want to make sure everybody does what they can to support him and his his love for this.
All right, well, thank you very much, Brian. Hopefully, the rest of your race starts going a little bit better.
Yeah, hopefully. But we'll see.
All right, there you go, guys. That was a 25 of Brian Chambliss. Unfortunate victim of circumstance there. But what this has done is this has shaken up the top 10 here a little bit. Bruce Rivers has stayed out after pitting on lap 6. So he's now going to be the experimental test dummy with the old tyres. It's Jeremy Miller P2, Rachel Hunt's in 3rd, Cohen Attard's going to be 4th, Chuck Mobley in 5th, Russell Arnold P6, Thomas Harmon 7th. We've got Jaron Sanchez there in 8th, Thomas Light in 9th, and Quinn Huff in 10th. So a very interesting set of circumstances at the moment. And the lights are out on the pace car, so we're going to be going back green this time. With a wide shot of these cars coming down the back straight. Alright, let's get to it. We're going to keep an eye on this 59 car here. Because, as I said, on the older tyres, he's going to be maybe a little bit slower than the rest of them. If Alexander Russell was anything to go by there. The pace car is in. And we're off and racing.
Go, go, go. Green flag.
Bruce with a nice early jump, but how long is he going to be able to hold it for? The answer is not very long at all, because here comes the 26 of Jeremy Miller. He's just taken the lead away from Bruce. I'm not sure whether USANZ has leader lap points. If they do, you know, Bruce would have still at least gotten some. Jeremy Miller now in control of this race. Bruce is going to have to deal with Rachel Hunt now behind him. But he's holding his own here in 2nd. Rachel's not exactly catching him too terribly quickly here. Only a couple of tenths here and there. What we're going to do here for a little bit while everything seems to be a bit calm here at the front. Going to go focus on crashes, see what the racing is as Jaron Sanchez pulls out to drop down towards the back. The 98 of Thomas Light fighting with the 68 of Thomas Harmon. There's a 78 of Chuck Mobley. He's in P6 just in front of the two Thomases. But the two Thomases seem to have been pretty much joined together at the hip for the majority of the race. Even in practice, they were very similar in times. As it looked like Rachel Hunt was going for the move that time, and it looks like she's got it done. So Rachel Hunt now up into P2, Bruce down to 3rd. Cohen Attard right behind him in P4. But now Cohen Attard going for the move around the 59 of Rivers. Makes the move made very easily. It looks like this is going to be the start of Bruce dropping down the field here a little bit. The older tyres, 10 lap older tyres, just can't quite hold it with these younger, more stable pressure tyres. The best part is with this league, you know, we don't know who is on what tyres. We don't know who took 2. We don't know who took 4. All we know is the people who pit and don't pit. As now we've got a little bit of a cluster going on here as Bruce is getting dropped, while these guys around him are side by side battling. Thomas Harmon is the next one to get around him. Thomas Light and Chuck Mobley fighting it out just behind. It looks like Light is going to get the advantage as they coming around Bruce. There's one of the 00s behind as well. Going to be the 15 in your standings of Quinn Huff. They're just about 3 wide behind the 59 of Bruce. Quinn Huff trying to take that inside line away from Chuck Mobley. Bruce Rivers, to his credit, holding on very well with these older tyres. And now it's all going to fall away from him as he rubs the wall coming off of turn 2. That's going to lose him all of his momentum. There goes the 12, there goes the 19, here comes the 61. And we have another safety car on the track. See if we can see what unfolded here. Oh no, it's the 27 of Blake Matties. Have a look at this again in slow-mo. Got the 13 of Lewis Woodall right behind him. He just gets up and into the fence. The 13, nowhere to go, gets into his side, puts him completely sideways. .25, very lucky to get around him. And he pulls it to a stop. So, that is probably very, very lucky there that he didn't get collected by more drivers. So, we are going to go for a quick advert while everyone's pulling into the pits. And we'll be back to rack 'em and stack 'em and get them ready to go again here very shortly. Alrighty, we are back, live and free, and our leader at the moment is going to be Jeremy Miller in the 26 car. Rachel Hunt in the 16 is going to be starting this one off of P2. You can see the 13 just up the front there behind the pace car. He's going to look to get a wave around, get himself back onto the lead lap. Cohen Attard in the 131 is going to be out of third. Thomas Harmon in fourth. Russell Arnold in 5th, Thomas Light P6, Quinn Hoff in 7th, Chuck Mobley 8th, Ryan Daly in 9th, and Matt Burgess will be restarting this one out of 10th. And one of the quiet advances that we haven't really talked too much about. The 97 here of Ken MacArthur. Very nice paint, I'm going to have to say. But he has just been slowly moving his way up through the field here, currently in 16th. And he'll be hoping to improve on this a little bit more. He's just been ever so silent towards the back there, just catching up here and there. Just a few tenths, making a couple of positions under the cautions. And I reckon coming towards the end of the race, he might be a little bit of a force to be reckoned with here. As we go back to looking at our leader, the 26 of Jeremy Miller. Before Jaron Sanchez comes out of the pits. Looks like he's not going to beat the pace car. In fact, he's going to have to drop down to the back of the pack. A lap down now. That's unfortunate for Jaron Sanchez. He's actually already 9 laps down, so he's been involved in something that we haven't seen here. Possibly got into the wall. And has been trying to get the thing fixed ever since. We're going to go back up to our leader now, Jeremy Miller in the 26 car. Looks like we might be on 2 to go here, so we'll get the 1 to green this time by. I can tell because the 13 of Lewis Woodall is side drafting that pace car like his life depended on it. As we are now on 1 to green. So Miller, Hunt, Attard, Harmon, Arnold, Light, Hoff, Mobley, Daly, and Burgess, your top 10. The pace car is in, and we're off and racing again here at Chicagoland.
Go. Green flag.
And again, the leader, Jeremy Miller, out to a nice little lead here. Looks like Rachel Hunt able to hold on to that second, but the battle is on for third between the 68 of Thomas Harmon and the 131 of Cohen Attard. Thomas trying to hold on around the outside line to take away third. It's going to be a tall order, especially early on in the laps here. Attard trying everything he can to hold on to that low line. But Thomas Harmon with the advantage at the moment. They come through turns 3 and 4. The tables are turned. Attard has put his nose back in front. Both of them are running the apron there this time. And Harmon has to concede and take 4th. But now he's going to cut underneath Attard as they're coming out of turn 2. That's a 200 IQ play right there. Thomas Harmon is going to try and take third place away going into turn 3. And it looks like he might get him cleared coming out of 4 this time. He does. That's going to be Thomas Harmon up into third position now. As here comes the 34 of Russell Arnold. He's got the shark teeth on the front of the car. He's hungry to try and get himself a podium, possibly a win. We'll have to wait and see how that one is going to unfold for him. As there's a 131 of Attard looking very vicious on the tail of Harmon now. These guys trying what they can to get whatever advantage they can. We see Gregory Harris there on the inside of the track, struggling with a lot of damage to his car. So there has definitely been a bingle somewhere that we haven't seen. As here comes the 34 car now, trying to make a move on the 131 of Attard. Going into turn 3 and 4. He has got his nose up there. Running the apron, trying to gain the advantage. I think the apron is actually a bit of a disadvantage around here. I mean, yeah, it gets you good for the first part of it, but on the second part of the tri-oval there, it just seems that the actual racetrack gives you a better slingshot into turn 1. And now he's going to be under siege from the 98 of Thomas Light on the outside. Quinn Hoff right there as well. And also, that is Ryan Daly in the 99 car. So these 4 drivers now battling it out. This is the battle from 5th through to 9th. Actually, no, 5th through to 8th. And we have another safety car on the track now. And please don't tell me that was because of the lap down car stopped there on the inside. You see the 3 got into the fence. It definitely wasn't the 3, so it was that lap down car that was stopped on the inside of the track. I'm not sure who it was, but not a good situation. Jeremy Miller in the lead, Rachel Hunt P2, Thomas Harmon third, and Colin Attard in fourth as they're coming through to the pits now. We're going to go for a quick advert. When we come back, pit stop cycles will be over and we'll let you know who's where in the table of where everyone's at. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alright, we are back live here for the USANZ Grosskopf 200 from the Chicagoland Speedway. You see the forward Jaron Sanchez up in front of this field. He wants to get a wave around, get one of those laps back. 26 of Jeremy Miller still leading the way over Rachel Hunt, Thomas Harmon, and Cohen Attard. Got Eric Thompson in the 19 sitting in 5th right now. Thomas Light P6. Ryan Daly in the 99 in 7th. Quinn Hoff in the 15 in the standings. 00 on track in 8th. Chuck Mobley in the 78 in 9th. And Alexander Russell in the 38 car. Recovering at the moment into P10. So he's doing pretty good there to make up the ground that he lost after the earlier incident. You know, let's see if we can get the forward Jaron Sanchez up here for a chat. Just because. Hey, Jaron, Corey up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Hey, what's up, Corey? How's it going?
Oh, not much, man. Not bad. So you are quite a few laps down here, and we didn't see what happened to you. So, do you care to fill us in on why you're so far down the order?
Oh, yeah, well, it was almost bedtime for my daughter, and she still had some chocolate milk and some popcorn that she wanted to finish before bedtime, so she decided to scarf down the popcorn and chug the chocolate milk, and apparently she threw up everywhere, so I had to pull over and go help with that mess.
Alrighty, so I was thinking that it was something on track that we missed, but the matters of the family, man, come into effect. Good to see you still being a good dad, even with an iRacing League race going on.
Yeah, what it is it happens from time to time, being a dad and an iRacer. Sometimes you just gotta take it and pull.
Alright, man, well, before we let you go, since we're on One the Green, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Oh, yeah, my wife for cleaning up most of the puke. This league, it's my first time here. It seems pretty good, and you for always putting on a great broadcast all the time. So really,
all right. Well, thank you very much, Joan. Good luck for the rest of the race, and hopefully all the puke has been sufficiently cleaned up.
You too. Thank you.
All right, guys. So that was the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. Probably one of the better fucking interviews that we've had, and that is my one for the broadcast. As now we're going back to focus on our leaders. Miller, Hunt, Harmon, Attard, Thomas, Light, Thompson, Light, Daly, Hoff, Russell, and Mobley is the top 10. Don't forget, in chat there is the donation link if you want to help out Aaron. We're trying to fund him a brand new wheel so he can get back into racing. The pace car is in, and we are off and racing.
Go. Green flag.
And the 26 with another huge jump. And it looked like maybe the 16 of Rachel Hunt was sleeping a little bit on the start, because here comes Thomas Harmon to take away second place from the Iron Maiden of the field. Thomas Harmon didn't qualify, chose to start right towards the back. And he has already worked his way up into the second position, as we have a little bit of battling going on here towards the back of the top 10. Look at this cluster of cars. Got the 99 of Ryan Daly up in there. Quinn Hoff in the 15, the 00 on track. The 78 of Chuck Mobley. Got Alexander Russell in here trying to improve his position. Bruce Rivers, Russell Arnold. It's all on in earnest. There's a big move there just behind. 59 of Bruce Rivers trying to do a switchback on the 38. Got blocked out of it just a very little bit there. It looks like these guys are back to battle stations now. Bruce Rivers very aggressive, trying to look for a way around Alexander Russell. Here comes the 12 of Matt Burgess as well, saying that I want to deal my cards into this battle. Don't you guys keep this going on without me. And here comes also the 61 of Travis Massier. He's worked his way into the 13th position. There's also the 87 of Brian Pizzicami in this little battle. The 59 very aggressively moving around, trying to look for a way around the 38. The 38 blocking very nicely. It's not excessive if he's only making one move, and that is all he's doing. He's forcing the 59 to try and look for a smarter way around. Now the 59 is in a battle with the 12 of Matt Burgess. Who's going to come out on top here? I think Bruce might have gotten into the wall a little bit there on the back straight, because it's not a straight, it's a little bit curved. And that's what she said. But that is going to bring the 12 of Matt Burgess up into the 11th position. And now Matt's trying to battle away with the 38 of Alexander Russell as well. And he got the same treatment that Rivers got. Let's see what happens as they come along the back straight here. Bruce Rivers was going to look for a way around Matt Burgess. Is not going to get it. In fact, Matt Burgess is going to try and get around the 38 of Alexander Russell. He's got him. And he has made that position work. Alexander Russell starting to experiment with some alternate dimensions, using the demonic portals to try and gain an advantage. Bruce Rivers up on his inside now. There is also the 61. Oh! And Bruce has got into him, sent him sideways. And he holds on to it. There's going to be no caution, but he is not going to be happy with Mr. Bruce Rivers after that one. Bruce went a little bit too deep into the corner, washed up into his left rear, and sent him sideways. He is now just behind a 97 of Ken MacArthur, sitting up there in the 15th position. 16th is the 38 of Alexander Russell. So that was a hot little tamale of a moment there. And it looks like the 59 of Bruce Rivers struggling with tire grip, blocking very aggressively the 61 of Travis Massier. Travis running the very high line there because he was forced up there by the 59. Bruce Rivers very aggressive with the way he's driving right now. He has probably burnt his tires up a lot. Travis Massier thinking discretion's the better part of the valor. Just slots in behind Russell Arnold, the 34 car there. And Bruce is in the wall. He's sideways. And he is around. Oh, big contact there. I think that might have been the 28 car. No. Was it the 13? No. I don't know who that was that got into him. But that was a big hit. Let's see if we can slow it down here a little bit. So Bruce washes up coming out of turn 2. Just hits the wall enough to send him sideways. He tries to correct it. And it corrects too much. The 34, very lucky not to touch him. So too was the 61 car. And that little battle pack that was fighting it out for position there managed to get through it cleanly. See, Bruce has got his tires locked up. It's the 2 car that's gotten into him, the 2 on track. So I'm not actually sure who that is. And that is actually the 1 of Brian Maroya? Yeah, Brian Maroya. So he is probably going to find this to be the end of his race there, with a massive contact on Bruce Rivers, the 59. In fact, it looks like he has pulled the pin and is OUT out of the race. And I just hit the wrong button there. Pretty sure Bruce Rivers is also... Oh no, he's in the pits. But what this has done is this has changed the order up a little bit here. Rachel Hunt stayed out and she is now in the lead of this race. Ken MacArthur in the 97 car stayed out as well, and he's just gone from 15th to P2 here for the restart. See Lewis Woodall there, the 13 car, he's a lap down. Brian Chambliss is going to be P3, Jeremy Miller P4, Thomas Harmon 5th, Owen Attard P6, Thomas Light 7th, Quinn Hopp in 8th, Eric Thompson 9th, and Matt Burgess in 10th. And I was going to look at trying to get an interview with Bruce Rivers here, but it looks like he has got himself muted in the Discord, so we will not be able to grab him for a chat. So we are going to go for an advert here now, and when we come back, we should just about getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Alright, we are back live, exclusive and free here on the Aussie Sim Commentator Twitch channel. And our leader is indeed the 16, the Iron Maiden, the Queen of the Scene, Rachel Hunt. Ken MacArthur sitting there in P2, Jeremy Miller 3rd, Thomas Harmon in 4th. Miller and Harmon are the first cars with fresh tyres. So I don't think that this is actually a terribly smart choice here by Rachel Hunt or Ken MacArthur to stay out there on the older tyres. I mean, we saw how that worked out before for the 38 car of Alexander Russell, who is all the way down in 21st position. But we'll have to wait and see here. So now on 1 to green, so everyone's going to get into the 2x2 formation. Hunt, MacArthur, Harmon, Miller, Attard, Light, Hoff, Thompson, Burgess, and Mobley, your top 10. Got Massia, Arnold, Pizik, Hemi, Britt, Charles, Maddies, Swiggett, Walker, Daly, and Chambliss as your top 20. Alexander Russell back in 21st position. Now the pace car is in, and we're off and racing.
Go, go, go. Green flag.
Rachel Hunt out to a big lead to begin with, but we'll see how long she can hold on to that for. Almost 3 wide there for second position with Miller, Harmon and MacArthur. MacArthur's fallen back to 4th now behind Harmon. And now Rachel Hunt starting to fall into the clutches of the men with the fresh tyres. That is, of course, Miller and Harmon. Harmon looking to take her on the inside as Miller's trying to go around the outside. 3 wide for the lead. And it looks like Thomas Harmon was the man who was in front as they were coming across the stripe. And he is going to take the lead away from Rachel Hunt and from Jeremy Miller, who is still on the outside trying to make it work now as he's coming up to the side of Thomas Harmon. And at the moment, going into turn 3, he's going to get it to work. They're still side by side though as they come across the start-finish line. But the advantage will go to Jeremy Miller there. Thomas Harmon fighting back on the inside in 1 and 2 though. Who was going to take the advantage here? They're coming along the back straight. Looks like it's Thomas Harmon with his nose ahead, but can he hold on to it? Because Jeremy Miller is fighting pretty hard. And he does. Thomas Harmon now clean and clear in the lead. Looks like Miller was going to try and maybe do an undercut on him, trying to get back to his inside. Not going to work out. Attard has taken over the 3rd position. Let's go back and see how the queen of the scene is doing, and she's back in P6 with those slightly older tyres. She's got Quinn Hoff right behind her, and a little bit of a gaggle there also with Chuck Mobley and Travis Massier. But she's staying up high and letting these guys with the fresher tyres go through. She knows she's on the older tyres. She now knows that it's a pretty big disadvantage. She's going to have to fight hard to get her position back with only the balance of, what's that, about 80 laps left to run in this race. And there goes the 12 of Matt Burgess and the 87 of Brian Pizzakemi. But let's go back to check in on this battle for the lead, which is not a battle for a lead, it's a battle for second as the 131 of Cohen Attard's trying to take the inside. And he has taken second place away from Jeremy Miller, but he runs wide on the entry to 1. That is going to be all the invitation. Miller needs to get his nose back up in there and try and take the inside back in 3 and 4. But let's see if he can do it. He dives in very deep. They both do. And they're both making it stick at the moment. Attard still the advantage, keeping his bumper ahead of the nose of Miller. Going into turns 1 and 2 this time. And they're still battling it out with Attard on the outside and Miller on the inside. Neither driver really gaining the advantage at the moment. Thomas Harmon weaving, trying to make these guys battle it out. And that's actually slowed him up just enough for Attard to gain the advantage over Miller with the draft. And Thomas was trying to break the draft, but it wasn't working out for him. Now Attard looking to challenge for the lead. He is right on the bumper of Thomas Harmon. But now he's going to have to worry about the battle coming from the 26 of Miller as they go into turn 3. Attard was forced out a little bit wider than he'd like here. And he's going to lose second position to Miller. With these two battling it out, it's going to give the advantage to Thomas Harmon, because he had pulled a slight little bit of a gap over these guys behind him. Let's see what happens as they continue to battle on here for the second position. Attard, to his credit, is holding onto that outside line like an absolute monster. As we go down the start-finish line to finish off lap 68, start lap 69. Oh, and there's touch. The 26 is going around. And he is backwards on track. Let's hope no one hits him. Looks like he is clean and clear. Everyone would have the caution flag notification. Let's go back and have a look at that again. As I hit the play button too quickly there. Get a little bit of a tighter shot here. So is this the 131 coming down or the 26 going up? They're going along the back straight. Everything seems pretty clean and clear right here. The 131 starts to come down the track. There's the contact. So that one is going to have to be on the 131 of Attard. Sends the 26 sideways. Tell you what, Quinn Hoff did a very good job here. Seeing which way the 26 was going, he just pulled straight left to the inside. Oh, the 98 just got a little bit of a tap from that. And he was drifting it into turn 3. Thomas Light. Solid hit on the wall for the 26 of Miller. Pulls the car to a stop, and everyone gets around him safely. Now everyone's pitting again, and we're going to see if we can bring Jeremy Miller up for a chat. If we can see him. And we can, so bring him up for a chat and get his perspective on the situation. Hey Jeremy, Corey up in the booth, do you have a copy?
Yep.
Alright man, very unfortunate incident there for yourself. Looked like Ashard might have come down on you on the back straight there. Is that the way you saw it? And, you know, what's the feeling like, just so far?
I don't think he was trying to wreck me, but he pretty clearly turned left on the straightaway there. I just don't know why. We had a really good car. Sucks to be taken out like that. Probably not going to have any pace to win now.
So how bad was the damage? We know on iRacing you get a little bit of a damage timer for the repairs. How bad was it for you, and do you reckon you might be able to recover?
Minute 08, so maybe get back to the top 10, but that'll be the extent of it.
Alright man, well before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Just everybody out there watching. My teammate Brian got wrecked a little earlier, but we probably were 2 of the strongest cars here.
Alright, well thank you very much for coming out man, and hopefully you can get a little bit of a recovery drive in here.
Thanks.
Alright guys, so that was the 26 car of Jeremy Miller. Just like his teammate Brian Chambliss, unfortunately caught up in an incident that was not his fault. But that's just the way racing goes sometimes. Speaking of Brian Chambliss, he was up in the lead there for a brief moment. But he's pulling it back into the pits now, which is going to leave the 68 of Thomas Harmon in the lead of this race. See a couple of cars up ahead of him looking to get wave arounds. There's Sanchez, there's Gareth Anderson, Christopher Davies. So we are going to go for a quick advert here, and we'll be back very shortly for the restart of this race. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alright, we are back. And it looks like we might be just about going 1 to green here at the Chicagoland Speedway. For the Grosskopf 200 here. Now while we are waiting for everyone to get racked and stacked and ready to go, just remember, Aaron, the guy that we're setting up this donation fund for, has cerebral palsy. And he needs to have a special sim wheel to be able to race on iRacing. That's what this donation is going to be for. If you do choose to donate, it's going to help it's going to help Aaron get back on track. He's been out of the game for at least 6 months, just because his old wheel has decided to commit the ultimate deed and kill itself. So hopefully we can get him back on track. It'll be an absolutely awesome effort if we can. Thomas Harmon in the lead with Thomas Light restarting out of P2. So Thomas front row. Gonna have Massia, Hoff, Attard, Thompson, Burgess, Mobley, Arnold, Daly as your top 10. Rachel Hunt's recovered to 11th after not pitting earlier. Let's see what she can do with fresh tyres now. As the pace car goes in. And we're off and racing again.
Go, go, go. Green flag.
Thomas Harmon with a huge jump on the rest of the field. But it's the two Thomases that lead the way. Travis Massia there in third, trying to battle up into P2 in the 61 car. And he gets that move made coming out of turn 2 very easily indeed. To see there in fourth is Quinn Hoff as well. But Thomas Light not wanting to lay down and just take it, trying to look for a way back around Travis Massia, but he is now actually under attack from Quinn. Quinn up on the inside of Thomas Light, trying to take away third. Not going to be able to do it this time, and now Light is going to battle back on Massia. He gets to the inside of the Gladiator car and makes the move very easy. In fact, it looked like Travis struggled a lot getting into turn 3 there. Lost a lot of momentum and is starting to lose a lot of ground. And now Quinn is up on his inside trying to take away third. Just behind as well is Mobley and Attard. They're battling it out side by side for the 5th and 6th positions. Oh, and Attard just about getting into the back of Massia. Attard obviously able to go a little bit faster into the corner than what Massia is able to. As Mobley getting around him. Attard looking like he wanted to try and make that 3 wide with Ryan Daly on the inside. Not going to pull it off this time. And Massia now takes control of the position he's in, which is 5th. But he's going to try and battle back for 4th on the inside of Mobley. And he gets that move made very easily now. That's the difference of inside versus outside. If you can't drive the inside, then you're going to be good on the inside. In theory. Here comes the 99 of Daly now, trying to get a move on Mobley. We've also got a battle just up ahead as well between Thomas Light and Quinn Hoff. Quinn taking the advantage of the inside line. Thomas Harmon just holding on to the lead as well. Quinn just about got up on his inside as well. But Quinn in P2. The Thomases in 1st and 3rd. Travis Massia still sitting there in 4th. But it looks like he wants to try and take 3rd back now. He's not going to be able to get his nose up there, is he? No, not this time. And in fact, the 99 of Ryan Daly sticking his nose up on the inside of Travis Massia now. That's going to demote Massia down to 5th. Going to promote Ryan up into 4th. As Thomas Harmon starting to experiment with some alternate dimensions. He has popped back into existence. He's gone again. And he is losing a lot of ground experimenting with the demonic portals. That is sometimes the give and take of the demonic portals. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And this time they're not fucking working for Thomas Harmon. And that's my second for the broadcast. I should probably stop swearing. Here comes Thomas Harmon now back to the inside of Quinn, trying to take the lead back away. He's pulled up side by side. It looked like he might have gotten a little bit unsettled there on the apron. But he gathers it back up on the track, and he is wheel to wheel with Quinn, trying to take the lead back away. His nose ahead, but it's very close margins indeed between these two drivers. Quinn now slots in straight back behind Thomas. These guys battling it out for the lead of this race, with the margin of about 60 laps left to run. 62 laps left to run as they cross the line this time. Thomas Harmon experimenting with the alternate dimensions again. He should probably stop that because it's not working out for him. Although he does maintain the lead as they come out of turn 2 this time. The battle is still on further back behind these guys, but I don't want to... Oh, we got another caution on the track. Oh no, and it's the 26 again involved. Let's see what's happened to him this time. He's behind the 38 of Alexander Russell, our early leader in the race. And it looks like Russell has gone very deep, way too deep. Hits the wall coming out of turn 2 earlier than I've ever seen anyone hit the wall here. And he comes down into the 26, the 38. Into the outside wall, the 26, through to the grass. Oh no, Brian Chambliss involved again. The 20 car, very lucky to escape through that one. That's Adam Walker without any damage. The 13, lucky to scrape through without any more damage from the 26. And to be fair, Jeremy Miller, his car's not looking too bad. Possibly not too much extra damage done to it. But that 34 car, oh, 38 car, sorry, of Alexander Russell, looking very beat up there with his no front bumper. As there's Bruce Rivers as well, just checking up for the incident. Some unpleasantness in chat there. Sorry about that. So we're going to go for a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we should be just about getting ready to go back to 1 to green. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alright, we are back. At the moment, it looks like Brian Chambliss is leading this race. He's on them older tyres though, which is not terribly good. We've seen how older tyres react around here. Thomas Harmon in P2, Quinn Hop in 3, Thomas Light in P4. Let's see if Chambliss decides to come down to the pit lane this time. And the answer to that is a big resounding no. A little bit of shenanigans and planning going on here. Got a few more cars getting wave rounds. See Sanchez, Rivers, and Davies up ahead. They're all going to be getting wave rounds. Rivers will be back onto the lead lap with this one. And this time Chambliss comes to the pits. So that is going to give the lead back to the 68 of Thomas Harmon. Quinn Hoff is going to be P2. Thomas Light in third. As we get the 1 to green this time. So it's going to be Harmon, Hoff, Light, Attard, Daly, Hunt, Massier, Arnold, Burgess, and Eric Thompson as your top 10. There's Mobley, Swiggett, MacArthur, Charles, Woodall, Pizzacami, Walker, Miller, Maddies, and Chambliss as your top 20 drivers. Bruce Rivers recently getting back onto the lead lap. Down in 21st position. The pace car is in. And we're up and racing again. Thomas Harmon with a huge jump here off the lead. Quinn Hoff reading the situation, pulling straight down into second place there. Thomas Light still holding on to third with Cohen Attard sitting there in fourth. Rachel Hunt doing an amazing job, worked her way back up to fifth after not taking tyres earlier in the race, which set her back quite a little bit there. But she's now going to be under attack from Ryan Daly in the 99 car. But she wants to get back into this top 3 and battle it out for a win. Going to be a tall order with the caliber of drivers that is ahead of her. As now the 00 on track, the 15 on the standings of Hoff is battling it out for the lead with Thomas Harmon. Thomas having to run the very outside line there as Quinn Hoff was running on the track instead of the apron. Very close quarters through turn 2. It looks like Harmon got the advantage and takes the lead back, swooping across the track, showing that he is going to be the dominant one here. As Quinn has now got to look for another way around Thomas. Bit of a battle going on behind as well. That was between Attard and Light. 99's in there as well of Daly, and so is the 16 of Rachel Hunt. Thomas Light now clean and clear in third. The battle is on for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Matt Burgess has dealt himself into this battle. 99 of Ryan Daly trying to get underneath of Cohen Attard. This is the battle for 4th. You got Rachel Hunt up in there as well, trying to make something of this. Right behind her is the 12 of Matt Burgess. Looked like Thomas Light was trying to go for a move on Cohen there. not Cohen, on Quinn for second. These guys are in very close quarters right now. Rachel Hunt maybe trying to look for an outside move on a 99. Not going to get it this time. Pulls back in before the 12 has a chance to get underneath her. Now these guys have single filed out a little bit here, and they've caught up to the front three cars. Attard looking very good on the fresh tyres. And now here comes the 16 of Rachel Hunt to the inside of the 99 of Ryan Daly. And she is going to battle it out for the 5th position. Oh, and it looks like there's been a tap up at the front of the pack. Both the Thomases have lost out a lot of position there. I think Quinn might have gotten into the back of Thomas Harmon, and now Quinn is on the back of Attard. Not sure whether it was just all stacked up because, you know, the draft is faster than not having a draft, obviously. But at the moment, it's a battle for the lead between Attard and Quinn. What can Quinn do on the inside of Cohen? Cohen gets into the wall a little bit there. This has also promoted Rachel Hunt back up into the 3rd position as Ryan Daly is back in 4th. Attard now going slow on the outside line. That's going to check up Hunt here a little bit as well. But she's trying to will him to go a little bit faster. In fact, she wants to try and make it 3 wide on the outside. I don't think that's a very good move. But these guys are starting to battle it out very hard now for the top 3 positions. Thomas Harmon fell back to 8th. Thomas Light back to 11th, but Thomas Harmon starting to fight back now. He has moved up into 7th. And speaking of moving up, the 16 of Rachel Hunt now looking to the inside of Attard. This is for 3rd. And they are side by side coming off of turn 2. Matt Burgess there as well. Looking like he wants to try and help Rachel get around Cohen so he can get a move up on the inside of Cohen as well. In fact, that is exactly the plan. And just behind him, Thomas Harmon, after getting half spun, has recovered and is in the top 6. And he will not be happy by whatever transpired that pushed him out of the lead of this race. He is now on the inside of Attard. And Harmon now into P5. There's the 99 of Daly starting to lose some track on the outside line. Rachel Hunt, Matt Burgess now moving up to 2nd and 3rd respectively. And Thomas Harmon trying to look for the inside line on the 99 of Daly. Daly blocking him, not letting him have it. Now Thomas just sitting right on his bumper. And now gets the inside line as they come through the tri-oval. At the same time, Matt Burgess to the inside of Rachel Hunt. This is for the 2nd position. Lots of battling going on here at the front of the pack. Thomas Harmon using them demonic portals to gain himself 4th position. And Matt Burgess, who is not using demonic portals, has just taken away 2nd place from Rachel Hunt. Here comes Thomas Harmon now. He is in 4th. He wants to get back to the back of Quinn Hoff so they can finish what they started earlier. I don't think Thomas will spin him, but I wouldn't put it past him. But now the 12 of Matt Burgess looking to take the lead, moves to the inside of Quinn. Thomas Harmon looking to the outside of the 16 of Rachel Hunt. And they go 3 wide into turn 1. Thomas pulls out of it. Rachel's getting a little bit tight in turn 1. And Thomas Harmon in third, battling for second. And he takes second place away from Quinn Hoff. Rachel still sitting there in fourth. The 34 of Russell Arnold trying to battle around her outside though. Looks like he's got the advantage coming off turn 4, but will he be able to hold it going into turn 1? The answer is not this time, as there's a spin behind. Travis Massier just got absolutely dumped. Let's go back and see that one unfold. So Travis Massier battling it out with the 131 of Cohen Attard. This was the battle for 7th. And it looks like Attard not cleared, just tried turning in a little bit too early there. And, ooh, big hit. Oh, the 19 and the 98 as well. Getting caught up in this. 98, obviously, Thomas Light. Not sure who the 19 is. Who is the 19? The 19 is Eric Thompson. Ooh. So those two will have a little bit of damage on their cars there from that one. Everyone else managing to steer clear of Travis. But that is the end of Travis Massier's race. Let's see if we can bring Travis up for a chat. Hey, Travis, Corey up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Hey, how's it going?
Better than you. What happened there from your perspective?
Well, I was racing with him and I was on the apron and I was just said I was clear, so I got clear in front of him, and then I was turning for the corner to just let go of the gas, and he didn't, and just kind of ran over me a bit.
That is unfortunate, man. I think I heard in the replay cameras your engine going boom. Can you confirm or deny this?
Oh, it's boom.
It's boom? Ah, that
Oh,
sucks, man.
Yep. Yeah, but that's racing, I guess. Happens.
Well, there is always next week.
That's for sure. I completely agree.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, thank the league for putting this on, you for commentating, and just shout out to my wife and my son.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much, Travis. Unfortunate end to your race, and hopefully bigger and better things next week, mate.
Yep. See you later, buddy.
All right, guys. So that was the 61 of Travis Massier. Unfortunately, caught up in that incident, and just gonna have a little look through, see who we've got sitting here in the chat. See who else I can drag in for a chat, if anyone. And I don't think I will, actually. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we should be getting ready to rack them and stack them and get them ready to go again. So make sure you stay tuned. Alright guys, we are back. Pretty sure we're on 2 to green here. And Thomas Harmon, as you can see on the screen, back to the lead of the race. Matt Burgess in P2, Quinn Hoff in third, Rachel Hunt in fourth. Got Russell Arnold in the 34 up there in fifth. The 87 of Brian Pizzicami sitting in P6. Cohen Attard in the 131 in seventh. Ryan Daly in 8th in the 99 car. Chuck Mobley in 9th in the 78. Thomas Light obviously not having as much damage as I would have pondered that he'd have. Currently sitting in 10th with Eric Thompson, the other car involved, the 19 P11. I would have thought that they would have had a little bit more damage running into the 61 Amasia, but apparently not. As it looks like everyone's starting to get into their 2x2 formation, getting ready for the restart of this race. So I would hazard a guess that we're just about on 1 to green here. We have 20 cars on the lead lap. And they are as follows: Harmon, Burgess, Hoff, Hunt, Arnold, Pizzicami, Attard, Daly, Mobley, Light, Thompson, Miller, Swiggett, MacArthur, Charles, Woodall, Matters, Walker, Britt, and Rivers. Alexander Russell, the first car a lap down in 21st, but he's 2 laps down. So that is the way that things stand at the moment. As I said, we are now back into the 2x2 formation. You can see Quinn there just laying back a little bit here from the tail of Thomas Harmon. Possibly looking at getting a huge run on the restart here to try and take the lead. But the 12 of Matt Burgess, no pushover. Probably going to try and defend that move as much as he can. The pace car is in. And Thomas waited a little bit and he's off and racing now. Matt Burgess still just holding on to P2, but Quinn and Rachel in that inside line. Bump drafting a little bit going into turn 1. Looking like they were going to try and work together there to get in front of the 12 car. Matt Burgess fairly strong there on the outside line. You see now Rachel Hunt moving up to block that outside lane and also try and get around Quinn, who has not had the best of restarts here. In fact, he's losing more positions as he's in the middle of 3 wide now with the 34 and the 87. That's Russell Arnold and Brian Pizzicami. There's the 131 of Attard trying to get back into this battle as well. And Cohen is... something must be wrong with the car, because he's definitely lost a little bit of that speed that he had. And not wanting to be 3 wide anymore, he backed out of that a little bit so he could get back down to the low lane. But in the top 4, we have Harmon, Burgess, Hunt, and Pizzicami as this battle rages on here. We also have a battle raging on for the 2nd position. Matt Burgess trying to work his way on the outside of Rachel Hunt. And it is not going to work out for him this time. Rachel Hunt back up into P2. Matt Burgess down to 3. Three of the top 4 drivers are from the other league that I broadcast. And they are looking fairly dominant at the moment. But Rachel Hunt wanting to break this little bit of a domination these guys have got going on. Looking to the outside of Thomas Harmon. She actually pulled up next to him a little bit. Was unable to get the move to work. And now she goes to the inside with a very aggressive move. And there is a little bit of contact in there. As now the 34 is coming. There's the 12 of Matt Burgess stuck on the outside now as well. The 87 of Brian Pizzicami losing position. Attard beating the right rear to Matt Burgess. Matt is loose, but he holds on to it. On the top of 3 wide now. That's one way to break up a dominant faction. The 68 of Thomas Harmon still in the lead of this race in front of Russell Arnold, Rachel Hunt and Ryan Daly. Pizzakemi dropped back to 9th. Matt Burgess dropped all the way back to 11th after whatever that was that went on. These guys are now on lap 116 of 144. 34 of Russell Arnold looking very aggressive, trying to get around Thomas Harmon in the 68. Nothing doing at the moment. And Rachel Hunt wants to get back into the lead of this race after she fluffed it earlier, trying to do an old tyre run. There's the 99 of Ryan Daly up there as well. As Ryan Daly now working on the inside of Rachel Hunt, trying to take away 3rd. He's unable to do it at the moment. Cohen Attard trying to deal his cards into this battle as well. He's looking to the outside. He lost a little bit of momentum there. Looks like he just backed out of it a little bit too much. And Rachel Hunt managing to hold on to 3rd on the outside line there. Very well done. And the 34 of Arnold unable to try and make a move on the 68 of Thomas Harmon. See, Brian Pizzakemi's worked his way back up to 7th. Matt Burgess still stuck down in 11th at the moment. That's unfortunate for those two. Thomas Light up in P6. See him there on screen just behind these guys, starting to catch up. Let's have a look at this little bit of a lead battle that we got going on here. The 34 looking low. It is definitely a mean looking car that 34 of Russell Arnold is running. And now you can see there, Thomas Harmon getting very defensive as they come off of turn 4. Russell Arnold is making him sweat. But as ever, Rachel Hunt sitting there right behind him in 3rd. The top 3 have broken away from the 99 of Ryan Daly in 4th. But these two at the front starting to pull away from Rachel ever so slightly as well. The battle is fierce at the moment. Thomas Harmon experimenting with the demonic portals again, trying to gain an advantage over the 34 car. Doesn't look like it's going to work out for him this time though. And we're going to have to set the focus onto the 34 car, so we don't keep breaking the transmission here. You see Thomas Harmon is experimenting with the demonic portals, only gets worse and worse the more he does it. And now we got a battle for the lead as the 34 pulls up to Thomas's inside. And Thomas is just going to let him go and slot back in behind him here, not wanting to fight it out too much. We still got a lot of laps left to run. 21 laps as they come across the line. It looks like Thomas might be starting to run out of a little bit of tyre life here. He's not exactly battling back with any sense of urgency here. Owen Attard has made his way to 4th. Rachel Hunt just sitting there back in 5th. Just chilling. Watching these two, waiting for them to make a mistake so she can pounce. And we actually must have a bit of a battle going on here. As I can see, Brian Pizzicami just lost a lot of positions. Not sure what happened. I think he might have gotten himself into a wall somewhere. So let's go and have a look at this battle for 4th we got going on. At least it was a battle, but it's not now. We got a lot of cars back here. See the 26 of Jeremy Miller is in here. There's the 12 of Matt Burgess, the lap down car of Jaron Sanchez. Got Brian Pizzicami in here. It's quite a bit of a battle going on here, and it's for 7th position at best. This is the exact battle for 7th right here. It's the 131, the 26, and the 12. As Ryan Daly and Thomas Light battle it out in front of these guys. Oh, there's a touch. Attard on the inside of Miller. Oh, there's another touch. Miller got shoved out of that. He holds on to it at the moment, though. And the battle's back on between the 12 and the 131. Oh, the pinching is massive right now for the 131. He's in the wall. He's into the 12. They're spinning to the grass. And no caution at the moment as they're both on the grass. But the pinching coming from Cohen Attard there was pretty massive. And it has cost them both big time. Now the caution comes out. These guys probably won't be happy with each other after that. But it was good, hard, close battling. And this is going to set up an absolute grandstand of a finish. Gonna have just the balance of 15 laps to go right now as they come across the line. So things are going to get very spicy very quickly. As we're going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have a chat to one of those two drivers that was involved in that. So make sure you stay tuned. Alright, we are back, and we're going to be having a quick little chat here with Matt Burgess in the 12 car. I think Cohen Attard might be in the server, but I'm not sure, because people don't have their real names attached to their nicknames here yet. So we'll just wait for 12 to do whatever he's doing here. I'm not sure what he's doing. Let's drag him in now and have a quick chat. Hey, Matt, Corey up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So a lot of close, hard battling there And unfortunately, that has resulted in a little bit of a mistake there for both you and Cohen Attard. What was it like from your perspective? Are you putting any fault anywhere, or is it just racing?
Well, it's just idiots. I mean, the whole race, people have been blocking, just slamming it way down to the inside when there's only 5 laps in the race. I mean, when someone's on your inside, you don't just jerk it down there and hope you're clear. I mean, it's been ridiculous. I mean, I've never been in a league like this. They either have to clean it up or I'm gone.
Well, very strong words there from Matt Burgess. Apart from that, man, how has the racing been for you here today? As I said, there's been a lot of close, hard, fast racing for you. You've been there or thereabouts for the majority of the race.
There's guys in here that are good, they'll race you clean and you can race hard next to them. But there's 5 or 6 of them that, man, it's just ridiculous.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Shout out to you, Corey, for a broadcast. I guess for the league, they're going to have a lot of work for them after this race, but I guess we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Matt, for your time, and hopefully good things coming your way after this one.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys. So that was the 12 of Matt Burgess. Throwing down the gauntlet there, so to speak, with some very strong words being said. I do agree there is probably some things that we will have to have a look at post-race. But, that's something that's going to have to be dealt with post-race, unfortunately. But now we move on back to the front of the field. See Jaron Sanchez up there in the 4-car. He's going to be getting himself another wave around here. He is 5 laps down when he gets the wave around. And in 22nd position. So not a bad recovery so far for having to go clean up some chuck. But at the moment, your leader is still Thomas Harmon with Rachel Hunt. P2, Russell Arnold in 3rd. Quinn Hoff in 4th. Thomas Light in 5th. Chuck Mobley P6. Ryan Daly in 7th. Jeremy Miller in 8th. Eric Thompson will be restarting 9th with Brian Pizzakemi in P10. We're going to be Brian Bitt in 11th. Lewis Woodall in 12th. Ken MacArthur will be in 13th. Ryan Charles in 14th. Timothy Swiggett 15th, Adam Walker 16th, Blake Maddies in 17th, with Cohen Attard restarting 18th, Bruce Rivers 19th, and Matt Burgess 20th. So we're getting the 1 to green this time, and we're going to have 10 laps left to run in this race when we get the green flag. Everyone lines up side by side. This one is going to be for all the chocolate biscuits now. If they weren't racing seriously before, you can damn well bet they're going to start racing seriously now. The pace car is in. And we're off and racing again for the final 10 laps here at the Chicagoland Speedway. Thomas Harmon with a big lead over Rachel Hunt, who has slotted herself into P2. Russell Arnold still in third. Quinn Hoff in fourth. But Quinn under attack from Thomas Light in a 98 car there. That's the battle for fourth going on behind. But we're going to keep an eye on the leaders here, as Thomas Harmon is looking a little bit vulnerable to the attack from Rachel Hunt. We go down to start lap 136. And at the moment, everything is still pretty clean and clear here for the front of the field. Lots of battling going on all the way around the track though. But we're just going to keep focused on these guys at the front. And now we have another caution on the track. Caution is out. See if we can see what's happened here. Oh, and it's the 26 car again. I tell you what, if Jeremy Miller didn't have bad luck, he'd have no bloody luck at all. Heading into turn 3. Got the 19 on his inside. And the 19's on the white line. He comes up very slightly. 26 was probably pinching him down a little bit tighter than he needed to. Unfortunately, the 5 car there, absolutely nowhere to go. That is Brian Britt. So that's unfortunate for Brian and the 26 car of Jeremy Miller. But that is just going to set things up to be an even tighter finish here now. Go back on to focusing on our leaders. We are very possibly going to be looking at the possibility of overtime at the moment. Everyone's going to have a couple laps on their tyres. But no one is really going to be looking at pitting here. First guy on Freshies will actually be coming out of 17th position. It's going to be the 13 of Lewis Woodall. Bruce Rivers there in 18th. Like Alexander Russell possibly going to be 19th. But no, he's going to be 18th. What the... Something's going on there. I don't know. But either way, at the front of the field, it's Thomas Harmon, Rachel Hunt, Russell Arnold, Thomas Light in 4th, Quinn Hoff in 5th, Ryan Daly P6, Brian Pizzakemi 7th, Chuck Mobley 8th, Rick Thompson will be 9th, Ryan Charles in 10th, with Ken MacArthur in 11th, Timothy Swigert, Matt Burgess in 13th, Cohen Attard in 14th, Blake Maddies, Lewis Woodall, Bruce Rivers, Alexander Russell, Adam Walker, Jeremy Miller, and Brian Britt wrapping up your top 21. Aaron Sanchez is the first car a lap down, 5 laps down, so unfortunately he's not going to be getting too many of them back. Hey, when your child's got to puke, your child's got to puke. He manned up and did a little bit of the cleaning after his wife did the most of it. Now on lap 139, heading to 140. The lights remain on the pace car. Thomas Harmon from Rachel Hunt, Russell Arnold, Thomas Light. Because it's so late in the race, so I don't want to do any interviews just yet. I'll wait to see if we get some salt in the chat later on. Looks like we might be getting the 1 to green this time. Everyone's kind of, sort of getting into a formation now. And the lights are out on the pace car, so we are going green next time by. It'll be the start of lap 142, which means we're going to be getting a green, white checker. So we get 3 green flag laps before the end of this race. 2 green flag laps, then the white flag lap, and then the checkered. If we get a crash within these 2 green flag laps before the white flag comes out, then we are looking at the possibility of going into overtime. The pace car is in. Thomas Harmon is off. He waited a long time before he started to send it there. And that is going to put Rachel on the outside of Russell Arnold. Coming into turn 1, she's going to have to slot into 3rd, which she does. Russell Arnold looking very threatening there in 2nd now. There's 3 wide towards the back of the pack a little bit here. And we've got a spinner. I'm not sure who that was, but I definitely saw someone spinning off into the grass. It looked like it was off the nose of 99 of Ryan Daly. So we'll have to check back in on that later on, as the battle is still on for the top 3 positions here. Rachel trying to get around the outside of Russell. Can he do it? Thomas Light has dealt his cards into this battle as well. And I think it was Cohen Attard that has gone around, so we'll definitely have to check out on that later on. White flags out, last lap in this race. Thomas Harmon still holding on to the lead. Russell Attard blocking Rachel Hunt going into turn 3. Rachel unable to get 2nd place at the moment. But your winner here for Chicagoland is going to be the one and only Mr. Thomas Harmon. Russell Arnold in 2nd, Rachel Hunt 3rd, Thomas Light in 4th position. Looks like Ryan Daly's going to finish 5th, Brian Pizzicami P6, Ryan Charles in 7th. A great way to end the race here. We're going to keep an eye on this because I want to see Thomas Harmon throwing some donuts. Then we'll go back and have a look at what happened to Owen Attard there. As there is a little bit of salt going on back at the pit entry there. Thomas going a little bit too fast to get that thing going properly. Bruce Rivers up there doing some burnouts with Thomas. He actually just chose to tow then. Thomas Harmon, your winner of round number 2 of the USANZ Championship. So let's go back and have a look at what happened to the 131 there. Whether it was... No, it wasn't. So let's go back and have a look here at who went around. I know it was somewhere in this general vicinity. Oh, there it is. It was the 15 who went around to 00 on track, the 15 in the standings. And he's gone around off the nose of Chuck Mobley. Nothing on Chuck there. Chuck was holding his line. And Quinn just kept coming down and went across his nose, effectively taking himself out of this race. See the 3 wide battles there in the pack. And he just made it to the fence, which is unfortunate. And it looks like he might have just pulled the ripcord there and decided done was done. So we are going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have some driver interviews, so make sure you stay tuned. Alrighty, guys. We are back, and I think we got everything sorted out here. It's time to get handling with some driver interviews as I pull up a standings that actually tells me the results. There we go. There it is. So we're going to start with today's winner, Thomas Harmon in the 68 car. Thomas, you started at the back as you usually do in the other league races, and you've worked your way to the front. And once you were up there, you're there or thereabouts for pretty much the majority of the race. But towards the end there a little bit, there was a little bit of a contact that made you fall through the field a little bit. What happened in that contact that made you drop all those positions?
I knew he was going to try to take it low, or at least set up the exit. So I stayed low to block it. Not really to block it, but to not give it to him. And he, and I was going to give him the outside. I would have had to slow down too much in that corner, and he would have been able to get by me. But apparently, he slowed up, got behind me, and just was almost sideways in front of the field.
Well, yeah, it wasn't just you; it was the other Thomas as well that dropped back. But both of you recovered very well, being first and fourth respectively. Obviously, so what was it like for you having to not only battle through the field once, but have to do it technically twice after that contact?
I really don't remember the second time. I was seeing a little bit too much red at that point, but once I started coming back through the field, I kind of calmed myself back down and started thinking straight again. But it was a bit of a chore, especially with the amount of cautions that we had tonight. But I'm glad we got some longer green flag runs towards the end there to be able to let the tires work their magic.
Now, it was quite the challenging victory there with both Russell Arnold and Rachel Hunt sitting behind you, battling it out as hard as they could to try and get around you. What was it like trying to defend for those last couple of laps, especially going from 10 laps to go, getting the restart, to getting another late restart with only the balance of 3 laps left to run?
The last two restarts weren't as bad as the others, mainly because I was able to position my car a little bit better and get the better run through the corner. So if they did get there, and I'd be able to hold them off. And then with Rachel and Russell going low into 3 on that last lap, I knew all I had to do was not mess up that corner, and it was going to be pull a couple tenths on them.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on a quite energetic victory there. Anyone you want to give a quick shout out to before we let you go here tonight?
Shout out to you up in the booth for broadcasting to everybody, league owner, admins, for allowing me to join. Hopefully I didn't drive too terribly tonight as far as aggression and disrespect goes, but shout out to all the competitors that come out every week and all the fans that watch.
All right, well, thank you very much, Thomas. Congratulations on your win, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
I'll be there. Thank you, sir.
All right, coming up next, today's second place getter. Did already make a very short mention of him in that interview with Thomas. We are, of course, talking to the 34 car of Russell Arnold. Russell, first and foremost, your paint job looks absolutely amazing. How was the race for you, and how happy are you with getting onto the podium?
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to change it up a little bit from the Ally paint scheme, so I decided to go with the Air Force since it's my occupation at the moment. But it was definitely a fun race. Glad to finish second. Wish I could have won, but a couple more laps maybe. I think I could have got up there a little quicker, but some early pit stops, I kept stopping short in my box and lost some spots in pit road. But thankful to finally get up there.
Now let's talk about those last 20 odd laps. You're trying to battle out with not only Thomas, but with Rachel behind you as well, who is quite the formidable competitor in her own right. And you guys are swapping and changing and trying everything you can to try and get around Thomas and not be passed by the other person. What was it like for you just battling in such intense, close conditions, especially with Thomas experimenting a little bit with the demonic dimensions.
Yeah, I spent all race trying to take care of my tires, and I did a pretty good job up until what was it, 30 to go, that first kind of battle for the lead. I used up my right front pretty good, and you know, him trying to get to that demonic portal kind of gave me a hole at one point. But yeah, it was fun trying to get past him, and always had to look in that rear view for Rachel because kept thinking back to Atlanta. No one could catch her, so she's a pretty tough competitor.
Indeed, she is, and she definitely put up one hell of a fight. And unfortunately, we don't have anything sorted out to give Rachel an interview this week, but we are going to be working on that for next week. So hopefully, we'll be able to get a proper chat with her that everyone can see properly. But for you, man, P2, which is as quite a stout effort. Anyone you want to give a quick shout out to before we let you go here this evening?
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Aaron. This whole race was for him. To you in the booth, you do a great job commentating. To the league owners and admins for letting us race and putting these on. It's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you very much, man. Congratulations again on P2, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Coming up next, because I want to try and do this in order. See who we got in here. Timothy Swiggett, you're up next, the 28 car. You finished in P10 here tonight, man, so not a bad effort for yourself, getting yourself into the top 10. What was the race like for you? And, just how are you feeling about getting the top 10?
I actually feel pretty good about a top 10. The race was great for about the first 5 laps. Seemed like I was up around sixth or seventh, and not really sure, but looks like I just got turned going down the back straight to bring out that first caution. Put some damage on the car, and for whatever reason, it was really good about 2 laps when the tires were cold, but as soon as they warmed up, it just got tight, and it was actually kind of impressive. I was able to get back to 10th with the damage on there.
All right, now, it looks like you do still have a little bit of damage on your car at the point in the race where we got the replay going here. I picked this from the middle of the track. Did the damage really affect you a lot, or was it fairly negligible after you were able to get the majority of it fixed?
I got it all fixed in the on the first caution, and it wasn't noticeable until I got right up behind somebody, and then it just exacerbated it being in a tight condition. Um, like I said, it was fine on cold tires when they were low on pressure, but as soon as they came up for about 4 or 5 laps, it just got super tight. And then once everybody kind of burned off a little bit of their tires, I was able to start reeling them back in.
All right, man. Now, 10th place, as I said, not a bad position. So good effort all around for the race for you. Anyone you want to give a quick shout out to before we let you go here this evening?
Absolutely, Ryan for giving me the invite into the league racing. I really enjoyed it, and of course Aaron there. Just looking at his GoFundMe page, we still got a ways to go, so everybody get out there and donate to him.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations on P10, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, just having a little bit of a look through, and he only wanted to come in here to tell me that he loves me, but we're going to talk to him anyway. The 27 of Blake Matties. Blake, 15th position. Not bad for yourself here, man. What was the race like for you?
I made qualifier didn't go as well as I planned. Uh, Coming out of 4, got a little bit loose, had to let out of it a little bit. So started mid pack. I mean, just as much as pretty much everybody else in there. We were hoping for some longer green flag runs. Much more time for me to make my way through the pack, get towards the top. Ran great at Atlanta at the beginning of the season. I was hoping to be up there toward the top again, but those 2 early cautions Tried to get out of the way, tried to stay out of the way. Ended up getting tagged. Second one gave me a little bit of damage and you know, some RPM down, a little bit of horsepower loss. So just kind of hung out in the back, made sure to keep turning laps, do what I could. Um, I think that final restart definitely helped me out. I was able to get the inside line and just hold the inside line all the way through. Whoever was faster, they had, they were faster. They could just pass me on the outside. Other than that, just hold the bottom, try and save as much position as possible. Got a 15 with 34 RPM down. I'll take it.
Well, it's definitely a very sound effort, man, to be RPM down and still manage to come home in 15th. So before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to here tonight?
I mean, definitely to you in the booth for broadcasting. Gareth, Ryan, everyone that just puts together this league, does what they got to do. At the same time, a big shout out to Aaron. We're doing this for him this week, and for everyone that's still tuning in. If they don't know of it, there's a GoFundMe, Aaron Grosskopf Sim Fund organization. It's sponsored by Ryan Shaw. It's on GoFundMe.com. Let's help a man out who helps everybody else out in this organization, and let's help him get what he needs so that he can be out here with us, running these on Friday nights with us, and battling with us. He loves it, so we're here for him this week. Let's all help him out.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Blake, and we look forward to seeing you again next week, mate.
I'll see you then, bud.
All right. Coming up next, our second last interview of the evening. A whopping 51 laps down, all the way down in the 24th position. We are talking to the 21 car, which looks very beat up on this replay that we're looking at, of Chris Davies. Chris, not the night that you're probably looking for here. Let us know what went wrong, and just damn, what went wrong?
Yeah. Well, I got taken out pretty early. As y'all saw, I was upside down on lap 5. Kind of a racing incident, kind of out of my control, but kind of sucks because I cleared the 78 with a little bit of room, and he just went down and kind of swiped the 28. Racing incident, of course. So, I mean, I'm gonna be upset that I was taken out, but can't really do much about it. Really sucks because I felt like I had a pretty good car within those first 5 laps there. Really battling for the top 5. Who knows where I would have finished tonight if that wouldn't have happened. Came back and had a pretty decent car for how much of the damage I actually had. On fresh tires, it held up relatively well. Not much I can say else.
All right, man. Well, thank you for coming out and sticking with the race until the end of it. I mean, obviously, because you stayed out where some other people didn't, you did gain a few positions, and 24th, considering you were wrecked out so early, not a bad result in my books.
Yeah, I think when I look back at it, I fell back down about like 28th, 29th in that first early half of the race. And then when I came back, I just kind of just rode around.
All right, man. Well, before we let you go here this evening, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to Aaron over here for being our race tech. Really keeping an eye on everything, and just want to be thankful for what he does for this league. Just really want to support him out tonight, especially this week.
All right, man. Well, a hard luck race for you tonight. Hopefully, better results coming your way again next week.
Yeah, looking forward to it at Phoenix.
All right, now we're going to move on to our last interview of the night. Normally, I'll go through the order and, we'll finish with the last person last. But this time we're going to our 7th place finisher, one of the league owners, in Ryan Charles. Ryan, A great race for you here, especially towards the end. And I noticed that you were floating towards the back end of the top 10 for the majority of the race. And you took advantage of those 2 late cautions and got yourself up into P7. So what was the race like for you, especially those last late race restarts?
Yeah, the car was tight. I mean, everybody's car was tight, but my car, especially with the line I like to drive here, was tighter than usual. I was having a hard time having it cut the center, but kind of figured out a good way to trail brake through the corner by the last 25, 30 laps, and it started to work a little bit better. I was able to stay off the brakes, and except for that moment I almost took out my buddy Tim there. Yeah, he did a good job of staying off me while I was getting up the track a little bit. My main reason today is less talk about me and more about Aaron. We get to do this every week, and I know he wants to be out here with us, and we've had a really good start to the campaign for him here. Almost $400 raised throughout the race from the members and possibly others. I haven't looked into who's who yet, but we'd really like to get him to his goal. He does a ton for sim racing as well as actual racing. He's worked with a lot of teams, and he's been involved with racing and sports a lot of his life, and hasn't unfortunately had some of the opportunities that a lot of us have to enjoy it. But you never hear him complain. You never hear him want for much. He's always concerned about the next guy. So, well, it was a good finish for me tonight. Good car at the end. I just tonight want to focus on him and reiterate to everybody that's still listening and who's going to come back and take a look at this that $10 here, $20 there means a lot to all of us. I'll tell you what people tell me all the time when it comes to people who may say, I don't really have the money to donate. We all go to work in the morning. We all head out the door, and a lot of us make a stop every day. We pick up that Dunkin' Donuts, we pick up that Starbucks, and we don't think twice about it. Well, $5-10 a day on breakfast and lunch going out, and let's make our lunch from home this week and take that $10, that $20, that $50, whatever it might be, and let's put it to good use. Give it to somebody who could really use it and who's going to give back to the rest of us just by being involved with sim racing and race cars and sports in general, and who truly loves doing it and just doesn't have the opportunity all the time because his equipment isn't up to par. I think we could all go without that cup of coffee this week, and it would greatly help him. So thank you guys for coming out. Thank you to the people who've donated, and we look forward to Phoenix next week. Also going to reiterate the $200 I'm throwing in for a prize fund. We'll figure out how it's going to get broken up. For people that didn't hear, we'll put it on the Discord. And thank you to you for doing what you do for us each week. We appreciate that. But yeah, donate, help out, the part of the community that we all love. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, well, thank you very much, man. And we look forward to seeing you again next week at Phoenix. And he is dead on the money there, guys. The money that you guys put into this, it's a small amount. Small amounts always help. Every dollar counts, and that is the big thing that we can all agree on. The small amounts really do count. So, guys, that is going to end off the stream here. I want to thank everyone for coming out and participating in this race. It is for a great cause, and I'd love to see Aaron manage to get on track because he is a great guy to talk to. So we are going to thank you all for coming out, and we look forward to seeing you all again next week when we go to the Phoenix Raceway in Arizona. So good luck, have fun, and die quietly, and stay safe out there. And we'll see you guys next week.